All right, this is April 11th. Today marks a special day. It is our 2-month anniversary. Yes, 2 months. And we wanted to thank you for all your support and for listening. And if you enjoy this show, please share this with your friends and family. Helps us a lot. Spread the word. You can also review us and rate us on iTunes, Google Play Music, Stitcher, and PodBean. You can stalk us on Twitter at Bits for You Podcast. That's the number 4 after the word bits. Facebook is the same thing, Bits for You Podcast. And the email is bitsforyoupodcast@gmail.com. And enough of that. Let's start this show. All right, my fellow ninja. What is it that you wanted to talk to me about today?
I wanted to talk about some news that happened.
Mm-hmm.
This happened in the week of April 4th, which is about Iceland. So they had a bill they have a bill right now being examined to require companies to prove they offer equal pay to women and men. So the plan is to have companies audited. And they could face fines if they're not doing that. And this will be towards companies that are larger than 25 and will be effective in January 2018.
Larger than 25 employees?
Yeah.
Effective when?
January 2018.
Okay, so they still have 8 months? Almost?
Yeah, and the bill is being examined. It hasn't passed. I haven't followed up with it, but knowing the government, they usually take a while anyway.
Yeah, Iceland, wasn't it Iceland one of the first countries to have a woman president? I think it was. It was in the 1970s.
Yeah, I remember when I was reading about it, they had all the tidbits about Iceland and how they are the leaders for making women more equal to men, and they're up there. I think they're actually rated number 1 for that.
Yeah,
and they're going a step further now.
Yeah, I saw a documentary about it. How they did they were interviewing men and women both in the country of Iceland, and they all seem pretty happy. The men are in agreement that the women should have equal say, equal pay, equal everything. When it comes to that, now over here in the United States, when they do the census every 10 years, that whole thing that it's on the news media keeps pushing about women earned 80 cents to every dollar than men make. So it makes it seem like women get paid less, but that thing is not that census or survey is not accurate in the sense that it doesn't account all the jobs. It just accounts all jobs altogether. So if you account all the jobs in this country, they're showing that different kinds of jobs. Supposedly they make 80 cents to every dollar that a man makes, but it doesn't go into account what do teachers make. And when they did a survey, this is an independent survey, not a government survey. Independent surveys found out that male teachers, I forgot what state. Let's pick it. Whatever state, make the same as women, and then women bank managers in said state make the same as men. So there is equal, but in just some minor jobs, I forgot the jobs. That's where the women earn less, and I think that's something that needs to be addressed here in this country.
You might say it's only minor, but there's other.
No, I'm saying I mean minor, but there's a lot of other ones that are taken into account that the women earned about the same that the men do.
I have a feeling that stripper females make more than stripper men.
It's what again? Say it again.
I believe stripper females make more than stripper men.
You see, there's the unfair advantage.
Yeah, I'm joking, but
I know.
well, that's probably is true. But there is a unequalness here, and I myself was not really too aware of it, but I've seen proof just by talking to coworkers and such, and yeah, it's real and sad that it's real. And,
Yeah, I'm not saying that it doesn't happen, and that obviously I know that I'm it's almost guaranteed that it happens in most fields, but that the survey done and the survey with the last census was done. What is it, 6 years ago? I think it's done every 10 years. Yeah, accounted it and showed that it was 80 cents to every dollar. But it just says in general, and it shouldn't really be in general. It should be in fields of jobs like doctors make this much, and the census doesn't really put that into the statistics. That's where it's misleading, because all you hear is the media saying, "Oh no, they earn less and less and less," and it shouldn't be that. It should be like, well, in these fields they earn equal, but in this one it's a little less. That's how it should be. But they don't word it that way.
Yeah, well,
because drama sells and controversy sells. All they want to do is create controversy.
Yeah, forget the news, like American news media.
Fucking
I'm going
media.
by facts and just experience.
Yeah, exactly.
And Finland's taking charge here. It'll be the first country to do this. I don't think America's going to do that anytime soon with Trump, but maybe eventually we'll get to that point.
That fucking guy.
Goodbye wall. I heard that he was asking taxpayers not to pay for the wall.
Yeah, like 2 weeks ago he was saying, well, no, the Mexico's not gonna pay for it, so the taxpayers are gonna pay for it.
Yeah, fuck that.
Fuck that.
Well, fuck the whole wall.
If he has all this money that he says he has, he can fucking pay for that shit and fuck himself.
Well, that's what he's doing, fucking himself.
Well, he is, literally. That's we can go to a whole episode about that moron, but
that's not because
the
news talks.
Yeah, people already hear about it all the time. We want to not go too much into that idiot. But what's new in the wrestling world?
So wrestling is post WrestleMania, the first Raw and SmackDown were pretty good. Mm-hmm. We had some debuts, but these debuts don't mean much right away because the week after that they're going to do a shakeup. As of this recording, it hasn't happened yet, but it's going to happen, and maybe we'll have some reaction to that in the next episode. But basically, we had Nakamura, we had Finn Balor, we had Ty Dillinger, and I feel like one more person.
Is that the Japanese superstar that you were telling? I think you announced it on Twitter that just came on board, or no?
I don't know if you're talking about the male or female. There's two Japanese.
Either wrestlers. One. Somebody you mentioned that was new or coming on board.
Nakamura has been on NXT for probably a year now. Any other Japanese star that I mentioned hasn't. There's females and they haven't showed up yet. But Nakamura was a huge name in New Japan Pro Wrestling, which I'm a fan of and watch. And I can tell you, he has a ton of charisma and put together great matches. And he also has a legitimate background. He did MMA and has a winning record in MMA.
Okay. So
he brings, he's legit in terms of shooting.
Right.
When I say shooting, I mean like real fighting.
Yeah.
And then entertainment wise, he has it. The only problem he's going to have is he could talk English, but he has a heavy accent. So just the language barrier might be a problem, but let's see how they.
I'm sure they'll have a translator, or they'll just give him a few phrases for him to say or rehearse. It'll get him better. I'm sure it will improve.
No, like I seen him actually do an interview on a podcast. He can talk English. It's just you have to pay close attention because of his accent, and he has to take a little bit of his time. So when he's talking in NXT, it's like a sentence, and he'll take his time saying it. But it's not like in a bad way. He's kind of like doing it like because his character is kind of, I heard it put together by one person that he's like a lazy janitor. Look, it looks like that.
Really?
Without his clothes. I mean, without his clothes, I mean, minus the clothes.
Sure, have you seen him without his clothes?
His character is just like, his clothes makes him look like some kind of Michael Jackson, but the way he walks around the ring and carries himself kind of comes off as lazy. But when it comes to the match, he's gonna put full intensity into it. But anyways, so he's kind of that he's kind of lazy, or maybe I forget the wording now. But his character doesn't need to talk fast. He's not a fast talker anyway.
Right. Okay.
So that's what's happening right now in wrestling. And drama-wise for wrestling, Paige, we mentioned her a few episodes ago.
Yes. What's up
about
with her?
Her sex tape. Her soon-to-be husband, which that's in itself is news, went on, I think it was called Periscope, something like Snapchat, I guess, where we do live chatting.
Yeah, Periscope is typically, I think Twitter uses them for live video.
Yeah, so he went on that, and he was kind of he was a little drunk, and he even said it. And he blamed Triple H for leaking her pornographic material.
Why would he blame Triple H? What was his reasoning?
He didn't say any reasoning, and he didn't even say him by name. He just said he just mentioned one of the bosses at WWE that has a small dick and a big nose. And he has a big nose. I don't know about the other thing. That's it for wrestling news.
Oh, okay. Well, that's not bad news. I have MMA news. This past Saturday was the UFC 210 pay-per-view up in Buffalo, New York. And overall, I'll start off by saying that the main core event and the actual main event were, I guess the word is disappointing. I'll go into that. So first off, the first match was Charles Oliveira and versus Will Brooks. Oliveira defeated Will Brooks with a rear naked choke in the first round. I think it was around 2 minutes after the match started. Next one came Thiago Alves and Patrick Code. Unanimous decision. Thiago Alves defeated him in the third round. Well, not third round, sorry. It's unanimous decision, so it's at the end of all 3 rounds. Then it comes to the women's fight. Now, with the women's fight, there was a controversy the day before, where I think it was before the weigh-ins or after. I think it was after the weigh-ins. There's a newcomer, Cynthia Cavallo. She's only had 2 matches in the UFC. The first match, I think she won it a month ago, 2 months ago, and then Pearl Gonzalez. This was her first match in the UFC this Saturday. So the controversy with Pearl Gonzalez was that I think the New York State Commission would not allow her to fight. And the reason is because she had breast implants, I believe, just days or a week before. And any major surgery has to be cleared by them before they fight. And it seems like she didn't clear that with them because she fell, and I guess her personal doctor told her, yeah, it's okay for you to fight.
So she has a foreign object in her body, so
yeah.
she used it as a weapon.
She can use it as a weapon. Yeah, knock her out, knock Cynthia out. But just that same day, later that afternoon, the New York State Commissioner cleared her and said that, okay, she's allowed to fight. Part of me thinks that they did, like, the UFC stepped in and told the New York State Commissioner, you better fucking clear her because there's no other matches. I mean, they could have put another fighter in. There's probably a lot of other, women that could have fought, but I guess they just wanted her. They were pushing her. That's just my own personal opinion. It's a strawweight fight, so they're like 115 pounds, in weight class. So in that match, Cynthia, she defeated Pearl Gonzalez with a rear naked choke in the third round. And then comes the co-main event, Mousasi and Weidman. And this was Mousasi's retirement match. Well, it was supposed to be his last match. Here's the fucked up shit that happened. So in the second round, he is, struggling with Weidman.
after numerous hits and stuff, he gets Weidman. Weidman's on the ground, and Weidman's getting up. Now, in the UFC rules, the new rules says that if both hands of the opponent are on the ground and you knee him in the head, anywhere in the head, it's illegal. Can't do that. You can only do that if it's one hand on the ground, and then you can knee him in the head. So he kneed him twice. So the first hit, he had one hand on the ground. Mousasi knees Weidman in the head. After that hit, Weidman put both hands on the ground. So right when Mousasi was going to go for the second knee, Mousasi picks up Weidman. So his left hand goes up. Only his right hand is touching the ground. Hits him in the head. The referee, I forgot his name. I'll get to his name in a second. The referee didn't see that. He thought it was both hands on the ground and stopped the fight. Well, on top of that, Weidman was severely injured. He was in pain. So the referee of the match was going to allow Weidman to rest for 5 minutes because of the illegal hit. Well, he thought it was a legal hit. But in the New York State Commission sports, they don't allow replays. So they can't go back and watch the replay. So the controversy comes in that somebody in the UFC, the other referee that's on the sideline, saw the replay and told the referee in the ring that one of his hands was up, so it's legal. So then the doctor comes in and checks out Weidman, and Weidman is, talking to the car. You're gonna fight. And Weidman's, he's still in pain because of that knee to the head. He's like, yeah, telling the doctor he wants to fight. So for a total of what seemed like half an hour of them figuring out what the fuck is going on. That's how long it felt, but it was actually 2 or 3 minutes. But it felt fucking longer. People were confused. They're like, what do we do? You can see the referee not knowing what the fuck is he gonna do. Is he gonna start the fight? Is the fight over? Are they gonna declare Mousasi the winner? Nobody knew what the fuck is going on. So finally, I guess one of the referees, the thing on the internet is that one of the referees on the sideline told the referee in the ring that's calling the shots that it was legal, so the fight could continue. But then it turns out that I believe it was the New York State Commissioners declared the fight over and gave the win to Mousasi. So Weidman was upset, obviously. Mousasi, even though they declared the winner, he was upset. He's like, this is not how I wanted my last fight to end. If he wants a rematch, I'll give it to him. So that was the fucked up thing that happened. That was the first thing. Well, it wasn't even the first thing. Then the main card, the main event, was Daniel Cormier and Anthony Rumble Johnson. So Anthony Rumble Johnson, I'll just go quickly as possible. The fight was over in the second round at around 3.5 minutes. What I could overhear, and later on I clarified it online, is that Anthony Rumble Johnson is more of a striker, while Daniel's a wrestler. I believe Daniel's a 2-time wrestling champion, and Daniel's just a striker. So Daniel went from striking to he wanted to kind of wrestle Daniel, and Anthony's corner, his coaches were yelling at Anthony, "Don't wrestle him, you gotta strike him." So they were upset because Anthony decided to wrestle him. They say that that's why he lost, because Daniel then got him in the rear naked choke and choked him out. And then Anthony came on. He got the microphone from Joe Rogan, and Joe Rogan was interviewing him right after the match. And Anthony then declared his retirement from the sport. He said that it's not because of the win or loss. He said he was going to declare the retirement either way. There's controversy to that, but that's what he says. That he's going to pursue other ventures outside of sports altogether. That match was just it was disappointing to say the least, because everybody. Daniel was the underdog. I wanted Anthony Johnson to win, but didn't turn out that way. And that's all that I have for MMA stuff. The next thing we have here is we saw a couple films. Well, you saw a couple films. I saw one. The one that we saw was Ghost in the Shell.
Right, and I also saw Power Rangers.
Yeah, but that's a retarded movie. We're not gonna talk about that. I'm kidding. So you can start off with Ghost in the Shell.
Okay, let's start with the one we both saw.
Yeah.
So, to me, Ghost in the Shell was an okay movie. I liked it, but I went into this movie with very low expectations.
Mm-hmm.
I don't trust Hollywood with stuff I like anime, comic books. Like, I have trust in Marvel, but outside of Marvel, basically nobody I really trusts.
Right.
And Ghost in the Shell, yeah, they had problems with that movie. Just watching it, I could. There was times where I just kind of like was out of it. There's two people that were sitting on my row that left the movie, like the middle of the movie, they left.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you had that experience. Did anyone leave while you were watching it?
Nobody left.
Okay. Well, I watched it like the second week. You probably watched it the first week, right?
I saw it the opening night, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, so I think that's a different crowd. I think second week kind of is more, maybe possibly more casuals.
Let's not jump into scenarios. Don't worry about that whole first week, second week shit. People leave all the time in the first week, first night. That doesn't matter.
Yeah, but you just tend to get more bigger fans in the first week. Like all the Marvel fans will go watch the Marvel opening weekend most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
Probably a high percentage. Anyways.
So besides that, what was your issue with the movie? Because it seems you have an issue with it.
Oh, visually, it was a good movie. I liked the visuals. Very impressive. Action sequences, I liked them as well. That was well done. What I don't like about it was the characters and the pace of the movie and the storytelling. I felt like it was a little slow. They did things that didn't make too much sense. And the major flaw, I think one of the biggest flaws of the movie was the Major herself. They based this Major off of the anime movie, which I thought was a mistake because in the show and the manga, when I say the show, I mean the animated show.
Right, the standalone complex, right? Not that shit Arise that came out 2 years ago.
Well, even that, she's different. She has character. She's not very robotic-ish. In the anime movie, she is. They make her kind of like a cyborg, and she's very unemotional and pretty still face. And that's how she was in the movie here. And I thought that was a big problem because no one's going to connect with a character like that in an American audience, at least. And if you have a character like that, then make the rest of the movie complex and interesting. Mm-hmm. They didn't even do that because they changed that. In the movie, the American movie, she's all about who am I? That's what she's trying to figure out throughout the whole movie and her past.
Mm-hmm.
In the movie and the show, it's much more about they question what it is to be human. She's not on a journey to find about herself, her past or anything. The big question is what makes you separate from an AI, because in this character, her whole body except her brain is robotic, and so you have the ghost in the shell, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what makes it? What's the difference? And because in this timeline, the future, that is becoming a huge question because everything is we're adopting more and more mechanics into our bodies and enhancements. So they did show that in the movie, but they didn't really go after that question and really go around that question. The movie was just about finding out her past, and so you have a character who's trying to figure out her past that you don't care about. That's a big problem, and that's why I think was the biggest problem with this thing. Another thing I didn't really care for was the whole consenting thing. I felt like they tried to make it a little poetic, but it just came off as kind of weak to me. Oh, you have my consent. Like I didn't really care for that, and she was basically viewed as a weapon, and it was all about this company that I'm not gonna go too much details about that, but that's what the just because I don't want to.
So let me ask you something. Did you like the 1995 film, the anime film?
I liked it, but I liked Stanley Complex a lot more. I mean, because
but
the movie was the same problem. She doesn't really have a character. So you watched it because it was kind of cool to watch, and also the fact that they were going up into the future, and it's about questioning what is a human, and there's a lot of things you can watch it over and over and find out new things about the movie.
Right.
This is not that. This is a simple movie about her finding out about her past, and she's boring as a character.
Interesting.
I say this stuff. You think I hated it. I didn't hate it, I'm telling you that I had such low expectations that this actually was okay with me. I just feel like that was their biggest flaw. If they actually went with the Major actually having a character and showing some personality, I think it would have been a different movie. Plus, fixing some of these plot holes they had. I don't think it was a huge glaring thing. People did thoroughly examine that kind of crap. I was just there to eat popcorn and watch a movie. I don't eat popcorn, but you get the idea. It's a popcorn movie to me. It was not the complex thing you expected from the anime or manga.
Well, I, on the other hand, thought that the movie was very well made for a remake. I enjoyed the shots. A lot of the shots in the film were taken from the 1995 anime classic, almost literally shot for shot. That was great. The director is Ruber Sanders, who before this film did I think it was 2012, the Snow White and the Huntsman film, and there was some scenes in the forest that reminded me of Princess Mononoke when he shot that scene in the forest. So I thought that he maybe he's a big fan of anime. I'm not sure what his interests are, but I was actually great that he took a lot of the shots from the anime and incorporated it here, and then he also added his own little extensions. As far as the visual effects, they were great. They really, really well done. The whole when they showed the robot, the actual cyborg under the skin. I like that they actually used a lot of practical effects, here and there. For example, the geishas in the opening sequence, they were all practical, actual animatronics that they built. It wasn't CG.
Yeah, that was refreshing.
So that was refreshing to see a blend of both worlds, CGI and actual practical effects. When it comes to the whole controversy, when it comes to it's been before the movie came out, the whitewashing. I had no issues with that, knowing that she's a cyborg. Obviously, these people probably never saw the original anime, or maybe even the controversy came from the anime fans. But she's a cyborg. She incorporates
Just to cut you right there, real quick. There was a rumor that they actually tried to CGI.
There was a rumor that they tried to
Asian.
CGI it, and Paramount, the distribution studio that distributed the movie. The rumor was that they tried to see if they can have CGI the eyes of some of the actors to make them look Asian. And it turns out the rumor is that it didn't look so well, so they decided not to go with it and just leave it as it was. Which I think it's great because the actual director of the 1995 classic, whether a lot of people are going to say, "Oh, he was paid to say this," whatever, he didn't have to say this. He said himself that she is a cyborg, that you're not supposed to know what her previous life was. She had a life, and now she's rebuilt with a new skin. The skin can be anything, Asian, an American person, whatever. So I didn't see an issue with that when I was watching the movie at all. Scarlett Johansson, she did what the character entails. She's a cyborg. In most scenes, she just behaved exactly like her character should. didn't feel forced to me. Like somebody that's actually, well, the character has remnants of her human self, because it is a human brain in a cyborg or robot body, and she wants to know what her previous life was. She doesn't remember. She sees like a glimpse of a few things here and there, and I'll go into some spoilers, even though the movie's 2 or 3 weeks old. So fast forward this if you don't want to hear the spoilers. But they give her a serum to. They tell her it's a serum so that she doesn't see these glitches. But in actuality, you find out later on that it's the complete opposite. I like the actors. I like the Takashi B. Kitano. He was in it as Arakami. I think that was his name in the anime. So I like that he was in it as Aramaki. Sorry, that's his name, Aramaki. Julia Binoche. A lot of familiar faces. I like that the villain was different from the original 1995 anime and the manga. So they did something refreshing there. I didn't have an issue with her. I think they expanded on. I like that they expanded on the whole finding out about her past. I didn't want an actual repeat of the 1985 remake. So for me, it felt like maybe 70%, 75% of it was faithful to the 1995 source. And then the third act, they changed.
I'll say that's pretty high still.
Well, to me it was.
40.
I mean, I don't think it was. I think it was more than that, because to me it felt pretty close to the anime, except for the last act where, again, spoiler, so fast forward this, you see about her past, that woman that she runs into, and then the villain was changed, and the ending was almost like the anime, but they changed it enough to make it new.
That's the thing. The change.
So
I didn't have. You just make corporations evil again. Like, that's cliche Hollywood stuff. I wanted something deeper. That's what I expect out of this movie.
Well, in that case, that's why you mentioned the standalone complex, which is a great series. It went on for like over 55 episodes. 2 seasons worth of material, and then they ended it. See, that was great. And even then, in that series, she is a cyborg. It doesn't go too much into her questioning what she is and where she's coming from. I think that if they do, in Japan right now, when it just came out in Japan, and it made in its first day very, very good box office in Japan, and the Japanese audiences actually have no issues with the whitewashing. They've interviewed countless Japanese members. Some of them say, "Oh, I've never seen the anime from '95 or the manga, and I enjoyed the movie. I have no issues with the whitewashing." And they've interviewed people that have seen the '95 anime film, and they had no issues with the whitewashing. And after the movie was over, they've interviewed them. "Oh, what were your thoughts on the movie?" Most of them liked it. They enjoyed it. They said it was like the same reason I enjoyed it. It was pretty faithful to the source, but enough differences to make it refreshing. What else did I have to say about the movie? I think that's pretty much it. I don't want to go into much details with the spoilers, even though I touched a little bit on it. But I enjoyed the movie. I didn't think it was shit or bad or anything like that. The critics bashed it. Most of the critics that bashed it are critics that never saw. When I read most of the reviews on Rotten Tomatoes, and I had never seen the anime. A couple of them saw the anime and still bashed it. A couple of them saw the anime and enjoyed this movie. From actual fans on IMDb, it was at a 7 out of 10, which is not bad. So that's just my take on it. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I say I enjoyed it, but it was because I had low expectations, and just you got to take away yourself from the anime, because it doesn't have that kind of impact, and it's not as good.
No, I thought it said everything that it was asked in the beginning. I felt that it was answered, and I feel that if they do make a sequel, because it's making a lot of money internationally. In America, it's only done $30 million in 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks.
Yeah,
So they
it's a
can't
bomb
count
for
the
here.
they can't count on the American box office gross, but in the international, it's made already 90 million, and it's gonna make more because I don't even think it's open in China, and China's a big movie going audience.
No, I know the numbers you're going by. Those numbers do not even include Japan yet.
Right, it just came out in Japan yesterday, so I'm looking at it now. It made 4 million in Japan, and that's pretty high for a Hollywood movie. So it's
People gotta remember that Japan is not that big. So
right,
but it comes out in China.
but Japan's movies have long legs, and when it comes out in China, I only think that it's gonna make more. Hence, because they had I think a couple of Chinese actors, and it was co-produced by a Chinese company. Obviously, the international market, they have their money in a lot of Hollywood movies. I think we talked about that in a previous podcast.
Yeah, but
So I feel that
the
if they
Chinese
make,
actually hate the Japanese. I don't know how they'll feel about this at all.
I don't know about that. But anyways, my point is that if a sequel is announced, whether it's with Scarlett or somebody else, they should follow the storyline of the standalone complex, where they don't, her past has already been discussed in the first film, and they should go into more of the storylines from the standalone complex. If the studios decide to make a sequel, at the way it is now, I don't think they're gonna make a sequel. I think this is gonna be the last time we see, at least for the near future, a Ghost in the Shell Hollywood film.
Yeah, I think they should have not done I use this word not today for this, but cliche. It felt very much like that, and I wish they kept it more complex and stuff. But I don't know if that would have saved the movie. I think in general the writing wasn't that great, and the direction they went with. But that's me,
Right.
and actually a lot of fans too.
Right. But a lot of fans also loved it. I mean, enjoyed it.
I was trying to find people who actually liked it. I don't always say a lot. I do find some, but man, a lot of people hated it.
You can go on Rotten Tomatoes. You can go on IMDb. You can go on a bunch of entertainment or geek oriented websites.
Yeah, you'll find some, but not a lot. But either way, would you recommend the movie?
I recommend it. Yes, definitely.
I recommend it as a popcorn flick. Don't expect anything complex here.
And how was
about another movie? Didn't you watch? What else did you watch?
Oh, I finally saw you reviewed it in a previous podcast. I think it was episode 7, Beauty and the Beast, and I saw that last week finally because it was like sold out for the first 2 weeks. I couldn't take my fiance to see it. So we finally saw it last week, and it's another remake. So here's the thing. So why, when people were like complaining about whitewashing it, that Ghost in the Shell was Asian actors, but with white actors in it, why didn't people complain that the remake of Beauty and the Beast was live action people, not animated people?
Because it was a live action film. No one's gonna complain about that.
Oh, yeah, they should.
Mean,
I'm complaining right now. I'm the first one to complain. Fuck that Beauty and the Beast remake because it was not animated actors. It was live action. It was not faithful.
The reason the bitching for that is because when you're Asian and you're an actor or an actress, there's not many parts for you. They usually stereotype you into some role. They call you a ninja or a master or something.
Yeah, but I going back. Okay, I'm gonna go back to Ghost in the Shell. Now I remembered. I liked the twist that they explained why she looks Americanized towards the end of the movie. I like that. In the anime, obviously, they don't have to do that. But the director of the original anime, Mamoru Oshii, said that she is not meant to be Asian or anything. She's just a person. It just so happens that she has a Japanese name in the anime because it takes place in Japan. That's it.
I'm not even going after the whole Ghost in the Shell in general.
Right.
But when it comes to any movie that's Asian, it's like if they do Mulan.
The fucking Ring, that horror movie from 2001, was a Japanese movie. The remake was all American actors. Why didn't anybody complain about that?
It's becoming more of a thing now. People are talking more about this stuff. When you just keep on
and Japan is not innocent, sir. They remake American movies. Do they fucking get American actors? I don't think so. But you don't hear any fucking people from the western side of the world saying, oh, I'm not gonna go see that fucking movie because there's no fucking American or British actors in that fucking remake that Japan made. No, man,
No,
that's
to be
ridiculous.
honest, the Japanese usually keep everything Japanese. It's not
Yeah,
like
exactly.
they're
That's
worried
what
about that kind of stuff.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. When they remake an American movie, and they've done some remakes, just can't think of it right now off the top of my head. But when I do, I'll post it on Twitter at Bits for You Podcast at Twitter, so that you guys can see that.
Yeah, so I forget what we're talking about. Yeah, Beauty and the Beast.
Beauty and the
Actually,
Beast.
that takes place in France. I don't know. There wasn't actually a lot of French presence there. But once again, it's white, so no one's gonna complain.
Yeah, it's in France, but they say French words here and there, and then they're all speaking with British accents, which is like typical Hollywood shit. Again, the French people. I mean, not that I know of. Maybe they do complain. It's not in the media, but the French people aren't fucking complaining to Disney. Oh, you guys fucked up. You guys didn't make it French. People are always gonna find something to bitch about. That's the bottom line. I'm saying that fucking going back to whitewashing. Fuck that shit. The movie, if you're entertained by it, you're entertained. If you're not entertained, you're not entertained. That's the bottom line. But
no, I understand if there's roles that are meant for Asians and they just overlooked that and made it white just to hit large audience.
But Disney's fucking remaking Mulan.
Right,
that's
a
a Chinese story.
If they casted Mulan as like I don't know some chick.
I think
Like
I
some
saw
white chick.
the lead for Mulan is an Asian chick from what I saw last week.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that's the kind of thing I'm talking about. Like, you don't do that. That's like what's that movie called? Gods of Egypt or something?
What do you mean? Don't do that? Don't cast Mulan as an Asian actress?
No, as a white.
I just told you that they cast her as an Asian actress from what I saw last week.
No. I'm just giving you comparisons here.
Oh, okay.
Like that movie that came out a while ago. Like a year ago.
The Gods of Egypt,
I think.
that shit, yeah, it came out last spring, I think.
Takes place in Egypt, but everybody's like white.
Exactly. And
there's
even then,
one black-
people were complaining about that. But again, that's more recent now because of the internet. Before the internet, you don't hear about that. The internet makes all people's
No.
complaints.
People did complain about that when it came out.
Yeah,
Actually,
they did. But
one of the actors did.
I know. I'm saying they did. But my point is that if that movie was made 20 years ago, before, in the internet's early ages, you wouldn't hear so much about that. That's all.
No, even back then, people were a lot more racist. Things like that have come down a lot, and that's why people are voicing more their opinions now about this kind of stuff. And I think it's fine. They should be more. You should think about other races, not just whitewash.
I agree. Look, obviously, I agree that the source material should be respected, but in the same sense that if Hollywood is making a movie, they need to get a return on their profit. So they're not gonna cast Ping Pong Poon, in the lead of a science fiction $110 million budget movie. They're gonna cast Scarlett Johansson, who for the past has been in Marvel movies which make $1 billion worldwide. She's a co-star. She's not the lead. She was the lead in Lucy, which came out in 2014, R-rated film that opened at $44 million. Surprisingly.
Actually, hold on a second. You're using Disney. That's a bad example. Disney just put a gay character in Beauty and the Beast.
No, I'm talking about
that they wouldn't have done.
Scarlett Johansson in the Marvel movies, sir.
Right, but you just gave the example of Disney, hiring someone like her or something for some role because they want to make big money. Well, they just put a gay gay. I don't know if the actor is gay or not. They put a gay character.
The character, yes. So going back to Beauty and the Beast, so
you need to do things like that just to make it more acceptable.
Yeah, so
because
for
people
those
are just watch movies
in
all
the
time.
animated film, I don't remember they obviously had any gay characters. The animated film came out in 1990. It was the only
Go back and watch it. I watched it. I got it for Black Friday for like $5.
Did you see it? I haven't seen it in years.
Yeah, I saw it, and I still remember most of it anyway.
And
The guy comes off as very gay because he's all over Gustav all the time. It's like, okay, guy, you have
right.
This is more than friendship.
In the animated film, maybe it's because I haven't seen it as an adult. Maybe the last time I saw it was maybe like as an adult. But anyways, I don't recall it being like that. I just think it is a cartoon, and cartoons you can get away with it without thinking that it's gay. But in the live action film, immediately the things he says and the way he looks at Gaston, I'm like, okay, this guy's a homosexual, which is I don't have a problem with that. But there was an issue which you talked about that I think was a cinema in Alabama would not show the movie because they said, "Well, that character's gay." And in the French story, it is known that he's gay, but Disney doesn't flat out say it in the movie. They hint at it for the adults. The adults can pick up. Okay, yeah, that guy's gay. There's no big deal. There's nothing. There's no gay sex in the fucking movie. It's a G-rated Disney film, for crying out loud. But the movie overall, in my opinion, since you already gave your opinion on it a couple weeks ago on episode 7, I think, I enjoyed it. It was again faithful to the source material. It was a little longer. I think it was like 20 minutes longer than the animated film. They expanded on a couple of things here and there. I just didn't like the actress, and I'm not alone. I looked it up. I mean, there's people that majority don't like Emma. The fuck is her name is Emma Watson? No, not Emma Watson. What the fuck is her name? The lady that plays Belle. What the fuck is her name? Do you know her name? Oh, Emma Watson. Yeah, that's it. So Emma Watson as Belle. I didn't have I just didn't like her chemistry with the Beast. Felt very fake. It didn't seem real. Did you have that issue when you watched it?
Here's the thing. Even in the animated movie, it's kind of like she just falls in love with him pretty quickly.
No, but in the animated film,
here they did expand on that, and I liked it. I felt she did a good job with that.
No, I just like her. She was, to me, I felt like overacting, like she was just not fully invested in the film. But that's just my opinion, and I'm not alone in that. I've seen a few things online about it. The movie, like I said, it wasn't bad. A lot of the songs were exactly like the animated version. A lot of the shots were like the animated version. It's just a live action remake. Disney struck gold a couple years ago when they took a chance with Cinderella, paid off well. They did Jungle Book last year, Pete's Dragon. They're just going in and I guess they ran out of ideas, so they're just remaking all of them. It seems like all of their animated films. I think we talked about Mulan is next. They start filming on that this year, I believe, because they already cast the lead. They're next after that. They even have Pinocchio. I fucking watched Pinocchio on VHS over and over as a kid. I fucking love that movie. And now they're gonna remake that. So that's gonna be interesting to see.
Yeah, I agree. I think because remember Disney has Disney World, and a lot of the rides are based on stuff like Beauty and the Beast and Jungle Book or whatever. So they're gonna, especially Little Mermaid is another one. But they have, so they're gonna go back to those things because there's money involved in there, and it will spike up their park, attendance.
Yeah, of course. That's exactly their plan.
Like Pirates is another example.
Yeah. So that was the film. That was my take on the Beauty and the Beast. If you love the 1990 animated film, which is a little trivia, it was the only animated film in history to win an Oscar for Best Picture. It actually won. A lot of people thought that Dances with Wolves, the Kevin Costner Western, was going to win, and it didn't. Beauty and the Beast won. If you like that movie, the animated film, you'll love this one.
So, for other movies, I'll talk about Power Rangers because you never watched it, right?
No, sir. I'm gonna wait on video on demand, or I'm gonna rent it. I have no interest in watching it on the big screen.
So as a kid, even now, I really liked Power Rangers. My first introduction with Power Rangers was Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, which is based off of the dinosaurs, Zords.
Which was released in America in the fall of 1993.
Yeah, so back then. Now, so the show was based off Japanese footage. They used all the fight sequences with the Zords and even the suits, like, the Power Ranger outfits. That's all the Japanese footage. When they're talking and are at school, all that stuff, that's all American.
Right.
Now, I actually could talk about this because I own and have watched all of Zoo Ranger. Zoo Ranger is what they use the footage from. Zoo Rangers is like the 16th season of Power Ranger. Super Sentai.
Super Sentai started in the late 70s in Japan, for those that are curious.
Yeah, so it's based off of that. So the Super Sentai is still ongoing. They're coming out with they just came out with a new season. I know it's with I think it's like 9 Rangers or something, and a few of them are like aliens. But anyways, so Mighty Morphin Power Rangers is based off Zoo Ranger, and Zoo Ranger it's completely different. They are not in high school. These are people who were like princes, and princess from back in the day when there were dinosaurs did roam the earth, and they were the princesses of tribes, and they were put to sleep, and they woke up when Rita was she's not even named Rita in the Japanese one. This is Bandora. I think I'm saying that right.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I said it right. I think actually. Anyways, she herself is different. Like in the show, she's kind of random. In the Japanese one, she has motive. She lost her son, and that's why she turned evil. And Goldar in the English one, that's his name.
Yeah.
His Japanese one, I forget his name. It's something like Gryffindor or something like that. I forget his name.
Gryffindor? That's some fucking Harry Potter shit.
I know. It's something with Griffin, his name in Japanese.
Yeah.
He's married to, I think it's Luma or Lima. That's not Lima. I forget her name, Luma or something like that. It's Scorpina. She's a scorpion lady in the English version. You see. The reason you don't see her really mixed with the Rangers too much in human form is because that's from the footage from the Japanese one. Anyways, her and him are a couple in the show, in the Japanese show. And it's different things like just Satan is in the show. Like she sold her soul to Satan basically, and that's how she became powerful because she got motivated with her son's death.
Wow.
She wanted revenge.
So she made a deal with Satan and not God. That's very ungodlike, sir.
Yeah, like in the show, there's like super Satan and stuff like that. It goes. It's very different. I remember I was very surprised when I watched because I actually remember a lot of the monsters from my kid. I watched it so many times. There's this Halloween special in the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers where it's like Frankenstein, and it's just a throwaway an episode. It's just a Halloween special. It's the Frankenstein monster, just kill him, blah. And in the Japanese one, that's like I think a 3 or 4 parter, and I think it's revealed that he's Satan or something. It goes crazy. I think he was Satan under that false Frankenstein shit, or some major monster.
But anyway, sir, don't get stuck on Satan because he frightens me.
I'm just throwing out stuff to show you it's pretty different.
Way different.
In Japanese,
that Satan shit would not fly in a family orientated show that Saban was pushing to the Western audience.
Well, that's the thing. In the Japanese audience, this is for kids. I mean, I'm sure there's adults who watch it, but it's mostly for kids.
Yeah, but it's a different culture.
One last thing about it is like the Green Ranger. His brother is the Red Ranger, and the Green Ranger actually dies in the show. That's why in the English one you see him having like little shield from the Green Ranger, right, and the flute.
Yes,
he does that for a few episodes in the English one, and in Japanese the reason that happens is because he dies and passes his power to the Red Ranger. So the Red Ranger commands the Dragon Zord, later on in the show, and for the rest of the show he never comes back to life or nothing.
No, correct me if I'm wrong. In the American version, when he had the flute, the Red Ranger had the Green Ranger's flute. It was because the Green Ranger was in prison or captive or something.
Yeah, I think I think his kennel ran out and he passed it or something. I can't remember exact details. He somehow passed it.
That just reminds. Yeah, I'm just picturing him like behind some like a cage, like he's in jail, because I don't know. It's been 25 years since that shit came out.
Well, I don't think it's 25, but
23 or whatever.
Yeah, actually, it actually comes off of the Japanese stuff because in the Japanese one, the Zoo Ranger, Green Ranger has to be he's in this like I don't say it's a prison, but he's in this area with a candle, and it is burning out. It burns out when he leaves that area. So when he's in this isolated area, he's fine, he's alive, but when he leaves the area, the candle starts burning, and when it burns out, he's dead. And that's what happens. He just leaves so many times to help the Rangers that eventually he does it one last time to save them, and he dies because the candle burns out. So it's kind of actually the American part. You just remember that. That actually is played off of the Japanese one. That's something they did actually take from it, kind of. But anyways, I'm going to great details about the Japanese and the American because this movie that just came out is basically all based off of the American one. There is no references at all, period, to the Japanese one. Besides that, there's Zords and they have these power suits and stuff. And the American movie, they're actually also kind of pretty strong. Without the suits, like they could break walls and stuff like that.
So they're basically superheroes in this version.
Yeah, so I'm gonna tell you this right now. That movie wants to be a superhero movie. That's what it is.
They're cashing in on that formula that's working.
They make references to even superheroes. I forget which hero now. I think they made reference to a Marvel hero or something.
I think it was Iron Man from what I read on the internet. But
yeah,
I could be wrong.
Actually, as you say that, I remember now. Yes, it is Iron Man.
Oh, okay.
So they make reference to that. So the movie's mostly about their lives. They're basically all troubled children. I shouldn't even say they're in high school. Whatever.
They're still kids, sir.
See what?
High school students are still kids, sir. They're not adults.
Yeah, and they have issues with their parents.
So they tried to make it relatable.
Yeah, like the Blue Ranger, he's kind of like he's autistic
Intelligent.
Yeah, he's very smart. Blue Ranger is the black guy in the movie. They didn't stay as I don't know
as the original series.
Yeah, the other one's like, oh, you're Asian, you're the Yellow Ranger.
Right, they changed it a bit.
Yeah. So the Black Ranger is blue here. Actually, out of all the Rangers, I liked him the most. He had the most struggle. You could relate to him. He was funny. He had a lot of things going for him. The Red Ranger is kind of a typical jock football player who has some trouble.
Uh-huh.
And then the two girls, both of them are troublemakers. And the yellow one, I should give a warning. This is all like kind of spoilerish. The yellow one is a lesbian. They don't say lesbian, but they're like girlfriends. And she doesn't like say no to that. So her parents have problems with her having girlfriends and stuff like that. And the Pink Ranger, I forget what her trouble was. She's just a troublemaker. I can't remember anything specific now. Because I saw this movie when
maybe she's upset that her uniform is pink.
No, she doesn't get along with the girls. Oh yeah, I remember. There's some drama with her and some boy. She sent some picture or something.
Oh, boy drama.
They did something like that.
Okay.
Like actually in the movie, there's one scene she's like swimming. She takes off her shirt and jeans and she's like in her bras and panties and swimming around. They show you that stuff, which reminded me this movie is actually PG-13. Because when I went to watch this movie, there was kids in the audience. I forgot that the movie wasn't PG. Because they do say I think they do say bitch and stuff like that.
Ah, well, the kids go to see the superhero movies and they reference a lot of those things you just described.
Yeah, I'm surprised the kids. I mean, I guess the parents paid them for the movie. They're not going to leave.
Right.
The kids, I'm pretty sure they were bored for the first hour and a half. Like only in the last 15, 20 minutes is any kind of action. So the Rangers have tons of trouble trying to just morph, and that takes most of the movie for them to finally learn. Zordon isn't as innocent and leadership-ish. But he does kind of turn into that. But he wasn't just like that right away. He had doubts on the Rangers that was chosen. And in the end, they had that big fight. I don't like the Zord too much. I think they tried too much to be like Transformers, and also the superhero thing tried a little bit to be like that too much. Not entirely, but some. And Goldar was that big giant gold thing you see in the trailers.
How was I don't think you've mentioned Elizabeth Banks as Rita.
Yeah, I remember reading about that. She killed it. She did a great job. I watched the movie and I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? I mean, I could tell she did a good job, but not like, oh, she killed it or she was the best thing in the movie. I just thought she's just being typical villain stuff. I don't see it. I think she did fine. In the movie, she's actually the Green Ranger. So they get her coin, so they'll get a Green Ranger. They tease that in the mid credits scene. If you stayed for half of the after credits, she shows. You can see they're referencing there's gonna be a Green Ranger in the next movie. Yeah, she's whatever. To me, she's typical funny villain. Not funny, but like American kid villain. That's what she comes off to me. And Goldar is a big dumb. Doesn't say nothing. Doesn't come off that he has any kind of brain. He just follows the orders of
Rita.
Rita. And I guess Krispy Kreme must have paid a ton of money here because holy shit, they had a huge
product placement.
Dude, they were actually pretty central to the movie. They had to go find some crystal, and it was underneath the Krispy Kreme. And during the whole fighting scene that's happening, Rita's in the Krispy Kreme eating a donut.
That now I want to get a Krispy Kreme donut.
Yeah, basically, they really plugged that product right there. So I said all this stuff on the movie. I liked it. I actually liked they spent time on the characters, and comparing this to Ghost in the Shell, there was nothing to relate to there. But with the Power Rangers, actually, all the Rangers, you can just pick one. You can relate to one of them, or think one of them is more relatable, and it works, and you are cheering for them, and it gets very cheesy in the end. Obviously, the last 20 minutes. That's what makes it a little different. This movie, the very hour, most of the movie, 80% of it, 90% of it, is all very serious.
Do you think they did that on purpose to remind the fans that grew up watching it that, hey, look, we're still have that cheesy factor?
This movie was definitely targeted towards previous. I mean, Power Rangers was huge when everybody was a kid.
Yeah.
So obviously, I think they went after those people because this was PG-13, and they kept it, pretty close to what the American version was, and they made it PG-13. Obviously, it wasn't really targeted for kids. They didn't. I don't know if they ran advertisements for this movie in Nickelodeon or something, or the Disney Channel.
They did.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. This is a PG-13 movie.
Maybe. I don't know if Disney would have ran the advertisement, seeing as how one of the characters is a lesbian, even though Disney has said that they don't have issues with lesbians. But, the parents are always bitching about...
The reason I bring up Disney because they actually did own the Power Rangers for quite a while.
Yeah,
they got it from Saban, and then Saban got it back from Disney. So Saban actually has it again.
Okay, and currently, what station in North America is showing the Power Rangers?
I'm pretty sure it's still Nickelodeon. Okay, once Saban got it back from Disney, they put it on Nickelodeon.
Got it. So you enjoyed
Disney
it?
had it on Disney XD, I think it was.
You enjoyed it or you hated it?
No, I liked it. I mean, I wish for more action, but
that's
what they gave me was good. I liked it.
Yeah,
I look forward to the next one. Now, I did not expect anything like the Japanese version. There's so many differences. I didn't even say most of them. I could go on and on about the differences, like the Zords talk in the Japanese version, right?
Right.
They never do that in the American.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Actually, I think there's one Zord later on that does it, but I'm just at least 91 from Power Rangers. None of them ever talked. So I liked it. I could relate to the characters. I liked the characters. I cheered for them. They had their cheesy spots. I liked it. I complained about the Zord and the product placement, but overall it was a good movie. I liked it. It was a good movie.
So you recommend this if they can only watch one this week in the cinema, whether it's Ghost in the Shell or Power Rangers, who would you have? Which one would you recommend?
Power Rangers.
Somehow I knew you were going to say it.
Sorry, it's like you actually could cheer for somebody.
I cheered for the robots.
You cheered for Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah, of course. Everybody was cheering for her. She's
you were cheering for her to turn around.
To turn around.
That's soon in that movie. I know she wears that in the anime too.
Yeah, in the anime,
even in the show, she tries to be a little, shows a little more skin and stuff. That's part of her character.
Yeah.
But I think people will just like Power Rangers more. just normal people. If you're a fan of the anime for Ghost in the Shell, I guess watch it just to watch it. It's not bad. It's just if you compare it to the anime, or the show, you're gonna be disappointed then. But overall, it's just an okay movie. And Power Rangers, I think, is a better movie just because they spent a lot of time on their characters and you cheer for them, and there's good action too. But both things are very sci-fi-ish, so
right.
Whatever tickles your pickle.
There you go. My pickle is tickled, sir.
Yeah, Scarlett Johansson's butt does.
Recently, this morning, Marvel released the Thor Ragnarok trailer. Have you seen it?
Yeah, that was an awesome. I think that's the best trailer I've ever seen.
I think you're right. I agree. It was a fucking awesome trailer. It seems to me that they hired the same marketing team for Guardians of the Galaxy, which is not bad because I like the Guardians of the Galaxy movie, the first one, and the trailers for the first and second film. It felt very Guardians of the Galaxy vibe-ish, which again, nothing bad about that. I think that they are trying to remind the fans that saw the first two Thor movies, particularly the second one, which was the weakest one, in my opinion. A lot of people also agree that it's the weakest one. And trying to get people to forget that film. And from the beginning, you see Kate Blanchett. She's playing the villain, Hela. And she looks fucking... The design on her costume was fucking badass. You see glimpses of Loki. You see the thing that sold it to me is Jeff motherfucking Goldblum. Once he just popped up in the trailer, I'm like, they have my fucking money.
That's what it is there. Just comparison. I didn't even notice he was in the trailer.
He was in the fucking trailer.
No, when you said it, I was like, oh yeah, that was him. But he didn't. I guess you're a bigger fan.
I
of
recognize
him. I don't.
He. I've never seen a bad movie he's done, sir. Every movie he's in is fucking badass.
Independence Day.
The second one was shit, but it wasn't his fault.
Okay.
He was the only good. He was the only good thing in that movie.
Okay, but no, what I really popped for was, the Incredible Hulk.
Yes. So for many years, Kevin Feige, the president of Marvel, hinted or kind of denied that they were going to do Planet Hulk. But I don't remember reading that series. But fans on the internet are saying that this could lead up to Planet Hulk. Are you familiar with that series?
Yeah, I never read that comic line. I know he's in space and there's some gladiator thing going on with him, which you basically see in this movie. I don't think they're going to do Planet Hulk. I think this is their way of doing it.
Yes, from what he said, they're not going to do. They don't have plans to do a Planet Hulk movie, but it's good that they incorporated it. It seems like in this film that he is in that world.
Yeah, I guess it's kind of the same scenario. So this is their way of doing it. It's fine with me.
Yeah, so I liked it. The trailer, just even though it's 2 minutes or 1 minute and 53 seconds to be exact, it fucking did its job. It sold me. It seems like it's gonna be better than the second one.
Yeah, the villain for the second one was weak.
Yeah,
that's although that's a continuous thing for him.
Yeah, the Loki is the only good villain that Marvel has done in their cinematic universe.
Yeah.
So, still waiting for that Loki movie. So is the actor Tom Hiddleston.
Yeah. Let's see.
So that's that. We had a couple weeks ago, Joss Whedon, was confirmed to be writing and directing a Batgirl movie. I think that is a good choice. He writes strong female characters. He started off in the 90s script writing for a few movies. He created Buffy the Vampire Slayer from the mid 90s. Then he created the TV show Angel, the spin-off for Buffy. Then he did Dollhouse in the early 2000s. I don't remember exactly. All strong female characters. He's known for that, so I think he's a perfect choice to write and direct a Batgirl movie.
Yeah, I mean, when he left the Marvel world, basically, that's what he wanted. That was a complaint about. He wanted to do a female lead movie.
Yeah,
and they
he
never
fought,
gave it to him.
he
and
told
DC
Kevin
did.
Feige he wanted a Black Widow movie. He had an idea for Black Widow, and that never happened.
Yeah, which shows you Marvel. I think Marvel had more faith in them because they tend. I think they tend to just hire not actors, but directors who are willing to or listen to their demands of the script and what to do.
Yeah, they want a go-to director, as what it's known.
Yeah, they don't want a director that that
Has too much creative
that's-
control. It seems.
Yeah, and yeah, they don't want to do that. They want to control their properties,
Yeah, so I'm excited about that.
which is good and bad. Good as in a lot of stuff stays, pretty faithful and the vision of the comics. But the bad is, well, you don't get any established directors involved and to do something cool with it or different. Because all the Marvel movies pretty similar. They have comedy and weak villains. There's a lot of things you could pull out of it. But so I wish the Netflix shows are all different from that. But you have to go to Netflix for something different. None of the movies have really been
Right.
that
The Netflix shows Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, Daredevil, Iron Fist, and all have that dark, gritty, adult content that Marvel has not done and probably won't do in their cinematic universe for the foreseeable future. So if you want more grown up content, you would have to go to Netflix for their adult Marvel properties.
Yep.
Another thing that I was this news came out right before the Ghost in the Shell movie opened the end of March. It was that the horror movie Get Out, which I gave my thoughts on. I fucking believe it was episode 6 or 7. I don't remember which one. Had Jordan Peele, the actor from the TV show Key and Peele, and the movie Keanu, very funny movie. He directed Get Out, so he's being sought out to direct a live-action Akira. Now, that might be kind of pushed to the side now, seeing as how the Hollywood box office gross for Ghost in the Shell is not what they expected. But you never know. I mean, my personal opinion, I don't see how Akira can be made live action. It will be a very expensive movie because the anime at the time in 1988 was an expensive animated film. So
yeah, I don't like even this Death Note series that's coming out. I think Netflix actually did it. So maybe
yes, Netflix did. They do the Death Note series is coming out August 25th. So I know for sure it's in August, but I'm not sure if it's 25th.
When it comes to anime, be real life. I say real life. I mean,
Live action.
Yeah, live action done by Hollywood.
Right.
I just don't have much expectation there. So we'll see. Plus, I don't know how much money you really get out of it because, well, what movie that's anime related that's been successful? I think the only one I can think of is that Tom Cruise won Edge of Tomorrow.
Edge of Tomorrow it was based on a manga.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. It's still the same thing. A Japanese
source. Yeah, it's a Japanese source. It was not even that movie was not successful in. It made $100 million in America. The budget was 190, so it was considered a failure. The only reason that there's talks about, and Tom Cruise confirmed just a few weeks ago that there is a script for an Edge of Tomorrow sequel, and he said it's going to happen. The only reason it's going to happen is because the worldwide international box office was very, very good, and the Blu-ray sales were very high. It's a very good movie. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I
liked
liked it too. Actually.
It's just
I
think
just talking about that
I think
kind
it
of
was
stuff.
just timing that fucked up its box office take in the States.
Just talking about that kind of stuff. Pacific Rim is another one.
Yes,
It's getting a sequel because of the worldwide.
I believe they both came out around the same time. Well, like 2 months apart, but the same year.
I don't know if it was the same year. I think it's actually different years.
Maybe a year. Maybe the year apart. The point is that was another movie that it was $190 million budget, I believe, and only made $100 in America, so they considered it a failure. But internationally, made $300 million. So, and the Blu-ray sales were very high, so Legendary Studios decided to go ahead with a sequel. The sequel now is not Guillermo del Toro directed. It is Stephen the Knight, who is a showrunner for the first season of Daredevil, which is a very good season. And also that TV show Spartacus that was on the Starz Network a few years back. The budget on that sequel, though, was a little lower. I think it was $140 million budget. I don't think the budget has anything to do with it. I just probably they just didn't need a big of a budget because a lot of the technology that they created, they just they can recycle it. So a lot of sequels do.
Without Del Toro, I don't know what to expect out of that movie.
Well, he said he had a hand in the story. He's gonna get a story credit. He came up with it with the other writer, and he wrote the first draft, and then the other writer came in and rewrote a lot of it. So that writer is getting the writing credit, not Del Toro, but the story was his, and he's a producer. So I mean, I'm still looking forward to it. I enjoyed the first one a lot. And there's a lot of people that I've shown it to. I'm like, dude, go see the fucking Pacific Rim. Oh, I don't know. It's a fucking giant monsters and humans going inside giant robots to fight these giant monsters. That seems kind of silly. But everybody that I recommend it and actually takes the time to see it, they fucking enjoy it. They're like, wow, that movie was fucking fun, man. They all say that they've enjoyed it.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yes, sir. And one last thing about film is, well, in the comic, I guess, universe, Netflix revealed their Punisher poster. They don't have a date for the Punisher series. Defenders, they had a leaked footage on the Defenders. They took it down. The camera had the date of August 18. So the internet is saying that's the release date for the Defenders series on Netflix. They're stating that the Punisher might be released later in the year. I think Jessica Jones was released around November, so quite possibly the Punisher might be released around the same time frame. But they did say on Netflix did say it's going to be released in 2017. They just don't have an exact date for the Punisher series. Did you enjoy the Punisher and Daredevil season 2?
Yeah, I thought it was great, and yeah, I'm excited to see the show. I mean, the Netflix Marvel series are all coming in pretty quick.
Yeah, they've had great success, and why not continue the formula? Is what I think.
Yeah, and I have a feeling Daredevil is probably their not highest rated, but most viewed.
I think it is. I enjoyed Daredevil a lot, both seasons. Jessica Jones, I enjoyed. I was not expecting a lot, but it's up there. I enjoyed it a lot. I did not finish Luke Cage. I don't know what it is. I know it was timing, and I got busy. Then I'm like, shit, I should finish it because Iron Fist. I'm not. I haven't even started Iron Fist because I want to finish it in order. You know, I want to finish Luke Cage and then go into Iron Fist. So I have to have the urge to finish those two series.
I liked Luke Cage a lot. It was pretty good.
How about Iron Fist? Have you finished it?
No, I'm still in the beginning. I've also got caught up. Like I went, to WrestleMania and stuff. When I came back, I had a 5K. And I had a birthday party. I've just been busy, but I'll probably start watching it here soon. But I was like an episode. I saw the first 3 episodes so far, and I did like it so far. But another thing I've been doing though is playing video games. That I can talk about.
Video games, sir. Here's one little quick thing. So GameStop announced that the final physical quarter of 2016 was not as they expected. They are closing about 150 stores out of their 7,000 stores. The global sales declined 13.5% during the holiday of 2016. And GameStop's reasoning states that the weak sales of certain AAA titles and aggressive console promotions by other retailers caused their decline in revenue.
I can tell you the real reason.
Tell me the real reason, sir.
It's called Amazon.
Yeah, Amazon. Any online retailer is kicking the shit out of fucking GameStop. I haven't really bought a game. I haven't bought a game in GameStop. No lie, in 2 years. That's the last time I ever went to GameStop. Everything's been on Amazon.
Now I can tell you what Amazon's doing even more aggressive. like GameStop would try to get some exclusive content, like
Right.
pre-order stuff, which they've been lacking, and I don't like to pre-order anyways.
Yes.
Games especially because there are gonna be plenty of those things.
Exactly.
But Amazon actually is like, oh, you want to pre-order? We'll give. I think it's like 20% off the game.
Yes, they do. No, 20% off. So from $59.99, if you pre-order before the release day, even the day of release, you get it for $48 plus tax. It comes out to about $50. So you're saving $12. Well, $12 because you would still pay the taxes on the $59.99. So that's a pretty good deal. You save $12 if you get a day one game. I rarely get a day one game. We've discussed that you rarely get a day one game as well. So that might not pertain to us directly, but if you wait a few weeks or even after 30 days of release, sometimes Amazon will lower the price of that new release for like a couple days and then raise it back up. So you got to keep periodically going and checking the price of that game and then take advantage when it's lowered.
Yeah, I actually have dealt with GameStop recently. Only because of the Nintendo Switch. I pre-ordered it from GameStop because GameStop only does their pre-orders in store. You cannot do it online.
Right.
So I pre-ordered my Nintendo Switch at GameStop because Amazon and all these people were sold out.
Mm-hmm.
Even Walmart and Best Buy. So, but GameStop, you actually had to be there physically in person. And people don't do that nowadays, really. So I was able to pre-order it that way. The other reason I actually went there recently was because of Has Been Heroes for the Nintendo Switch. Has Been Heroes is out on other consoles as well, but if you want the physical copy for the Nintendo Switch, the only way is to buy it from GameStop. Otherwise, you have to buy the digital copy in their eShop. And the same thing goes for the PS4 or Xbox versions. They're in their respective eShops.
Oh, I had no fucking idea that was on the PlayStation 4.
I'm pretty sure. I know it's on the Xbox. I know it's a wide release. It wasn't just the Switch.
Just to jump right in, I had a question from a friend stating, "Oh, why don't you guys talk about Xbox One games?" I'll tell you the reason. Javier doesn't have an Xbox One, and I don't think he ever will. Is that right?
I will never own an Xbox or Microsoft system.
Exactly. I have an Xbox One in my house. I do not play it because they don't have a good library of exclusive games. I've always been more of a Sony PlayStation gamer. They have a lot better exclusive games, and even when it's a third-party game that's available on both PlayStation and Xbox. Since the consoles came out 3 years ago, the PlayStation has always been more powerful. The games look better. They run at full 1080p. While the Xbox games usually max out at 900p or 720p. So even though you can't really tell a difference, if the game is on both, I get the PlayStation version. The only game I have right now on the Xbox is the Halo Master Chief Collection because I like Halo 1. I replayed it last year and that's it. The Halo 2, 3, and 4, not even bothered. That's it. That's the only game I have, really. Oh, and Gears. I have Gears of War because it came with the Xbox One, the remake.
Just to iterate why I don't care for Microsoft. I don't care for any of their exclusive games. The Halo is fun, but I'm not gonna buy the system for that one game when there's more PS4 exclusives that I would want.
Mm-hmm.
You have The Last Guardian, you have Uncharted series, etc.
Right. Yeah, so that's basically why we don't talk about the Xbox One, because if it's available on the PlayStation, I'm pretty sure whatever opinions we have on the PlayStation version, it's gonna go the same thing for the Xbox if that game is available on that console. But mostly we talk about games that are PC, Nintendo Switch, and PlayStation 4. So that answers that question.
Yeah.
So
I guess just to get into Has Been Heroes.
Yes, go ahead.
Kind of a game review here. And just to say, when I said platforms, it is on all your possible platforms: PS4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch.
Is it only digital on those, or is it also physical?
I'm pretty sure it's only physical for the Switch and a GameStop.
Oh, okay.
So this game is made by a studio called Frozen Byte. they they have created a few other games that but this Has Been Heroes is a roguelike game. And to get into what a roguelike game is basically one of the major things about a roguelike game is death is permanent.
Really?
So, yeah. So, I'm very compared this to Dark Souls. Death is not permanent, but they do punish you for dying.
That means you lose everything?
Yeah. No, Has Been Heroes is very much a roguelike game. You die, you lose absolutely everything. Your unlocks are still around. Like, you unlock the hero, that's still around.
Right.
And items that you have discovered are now, you're able to buy those while you're in the game.
Uh-huh.
Like, if you come across it. It's not like it's going to be there just around for you to buy it. But let's say you were at the second boss and you die. That's it. You start from the very beginning, no items, and just your spells you came with, and that's it.
Shit, sir.
That's what roguelike is really about. And so that's what the game's about. So I'm trying to describe this game to people.
Well, let's go back to this. So you got the game right before you flew to WrestleMania. Is that correct?
Yeah, so I played it on the airplane on my Switch.
How was the battery life while playing that on the Nintendo Switch?
It's definitely longer than 3 hours.
Oh, that's good.
It's in the upper ends, probably like 5 hours or something. I didn't time it, but I can tell you it lasts longer than 3 hours. 3 hours is for Zelda. Zelda's a high-end, high-performing game. Right. This is not that. This is something. Simple. If you watch the gameplay, you're not gonna see something like Zelda. This game is more of a rhythm dungeon crawling game. I say rhythm is okay. So let me describe the game a little bit here. You have 3 heroes.
Okay. They
all have their own abilities, their own amount of times they could strike in a turn, and you could switch. And they have lanes. So there's 3 lanes in the game, and each hero occupies 1 lane. So a hero in the top lane could attack the top, like a monster in the top lane.
Right.
But you can switch lanes after you attack. So I'm on my top lane, I attack. There's a monster in the top lane. I attack him. Then I can switch that hero with one in the bottom, and then the bottom one could attack him. Now what happens is these heroes going to get hit for a certain amount of times. So let's go with the rogue. The rogue could hit 3 times, which is the most. And all the monsters have stamina. So let's say the monster has 3 stamina, and you hit him with a rogue that hits 3 times. He will replenish all of the stamina, and then any hits he gets stunned, and any hits you do does double damage. So you really want to do that. Let's say there's a monster with 5 stamina. You want to combine the rogue and another of your heroes to do 5 strikes precisely.
Right. That
will stun him, stun the monster, and then you use your 3rd hero to go ahead and do some attacks. And that will do double the damage. And not only do you do double the damage, the next time he comes back around, because he probably won't die from that 1 strike, he's going to have 1 less stamina. Now, if you don't do this stuff, you don't stun lock him, basically, you're going to be heavily punished. Because if you stun him and hit him, and then he gets 1 less stamina, he's also pushed all the way back to the back of the lane. Now, you say you use a rogue against a monster with 2 stamina and hit him 3 times.
Right.
You don't precisely knock off his stamina, and you actually hit him once. Damage is not done double, and he just moves back a little bit, and he still has, and then he goes back to having the 2 stamina. Those will go down to 1. So the game punishes you heavily for not doing that. I've noticed the recent patch they had with the game. They have in the beginning of the game. They actually make sure once again to tell you, and they show you visuals that you have to do this. Because otherwise, you're not going to beat the game at all. You're not even going to make it past the first boss. You have to do this kind of combos. So that's what I'm saying. There's a lot of rhythm to this game. You have to do these constant combos and pay attention to what lanes and what monsters are in each lane and where they are in position. And then the bosses are much harder, and they're usually mixed in with other monsters. So it gets pretty hard. So what I've done so far is I've beaten the first 2 bosses, which unlocked me the Bard hero. So now I can use my Bard, my Rogue, and my Tank warrior. There's a mage. You start off with a mage, rogue, and warrior. The bard, he has the same amount of strikes as the mage, which is just 2. But he seems to be more centered about the water spells. Mage, it's just variety of variety. I can't even say the word.
Variety.
Yeah, of spells. Doesn't mean you can't teach a bard other spells, but he has ruins. I think they're called ruins.
Yeah.
Basically, the more he spells he knows, these things are triggered, that they make his spells more powerful, and they're all based on water.
Huh.
So, I mean, as I'm talking about the game, you see it gets much more complex.
So give us the rundown.
It's this game is a lot of fun. It punishes you harshly, as in you die, you lose, you start over,
So
all over again.
You don't think why is there then a lot? What do you think is the negative feedback I've seen online? Like Metacritic has it at 49 out of 100.
Probably because it's hard.
The difficulty level is just gonna throw some people off, right?
Yeah, it's taken me a while just to beat the second boss. I got to the third boss. So after you beat the second boss the first time, he comes back again, but it's the third boss, and he's harder, and he has different abilities. But I think every time you defeat the boss, like the final boss of the ones you're given,
right?
Because they'll tell you how many areas you go to. Like when you first play the game, you have 2 areas, and the second boss is the one is like a ghoul or something, or a ghost. And you see him again. So you beat him, you get the bard unlocked. Okay. Then when you play again, now there's 3 areas. And the third area, that ghoul or ghost, he's the boss in that one. And when you beat him, you get another unlocked hero. And when you unlock the hero, you also get a little bit more like the cutscene. I don't know. I don't think you would play this game for its story. It's based on the story. You're going to see very little of it compared to how much you play it. So the game is a roguelike game with a lot of strategy, and it's difficult. It doesn't hold your hand. You have to figure things out on your own, or you can go online, and actually Reddit has a great subreddit for it, and you could read more tips and hints about this game.
Or they can or they can ask us on Twitter, or Facebook, or even Reddit.
Yeah, on Twitter we're at Bits for You Podcast. The 4 is number 4.
Exactly.
You can ask me, and I can help you. I'm not like that advanced in the game. I only have locked the bard so far. I hope to play it more or get further along. I actually do recommend this game. It's a lot of fun. You just can't be one of those people who just play a game to coast through it just for fun. This is gonna challenge you, and it's still fun. It's just challenging, and you're gonna have to take it that you're gonna, when you die, that is it. It's a permanent death. You have to start the game all over again. Like I said, the only thing that sticks around is the unlocks. And like I said, with the items and spells, that just means you could buy it in the game if you come across it. That's it.
I might have
the maps are all random too.
Well, that sounds good. I might have to then check it out on the PlayStation 4. Hopefully, I'll get to it one day before the apocalypse comes, so that I have a shitload of games to go through on the PS4.
Yeah, and this game is cheap. It's $20.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at. It was not a very expensive game. It's an independent game, so it's always good to support the independent studios that make decent games. And from what you described, it sounds like a decent game.
Yeah, Frozen Byte, this is the studio who made this. They also made Trine and Trine 2. I actually own those games.
I own Trine. I don't think I own Trine 2, but Trine was a very good game.
Right, and it's another side-scroller fantasy game, just like this one. Mm-hmm. But I don't remember Trine. Pretty sure Trine was not a.
I don't know. It was not roguelike. It was not. Yeah, it was more like a platformer or role playing. Is that what I remember?
Yeah, and there was co-op. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, this is not roguelike at all. The Trine, which is another game I recommend from Frozen Byte, and this is their latest one, and which Has Been Heroes, and I do recommend it. Just remember, you're gonna die.
Yeah.
Just learn. Remember, it's all about the combos and strategy.
Sounds fun. Anything else that you want to add?
No, that's it. I'm playing Last Guardian as well. I'll maybe go more in depth about that next time.
Yes, I reviewed that. I think in our first episode. So, how far are you in the game? Like, can you describe where you are, and I'll let you know.
I'm with like a giant dog, and there's buildings around me.
You fucking idiot. That's the majority of the fucking game.
Yeah, dude, I don't know what to tell you. What the hell? How can I tell you?
Well,
What's the checkpoint?
there's puzzles or things you have to figure out in the game. So what exactly are you doing now?
I have to go higher up.
You're up. Are you inside a fucking mountain? Are you outside in the world?
Yeah, you go in and out all the time, so I don't know how to describe this to you.
Jesus. All right, that's no big deal. I want to end this on a note here. So, this episode's gonna go up tomorrow. Tomorrow's the 11th, right? Yeah, the 11th of April, and that date, the 11th, is important to us because on the 11th of February is when we recorded our first episode. So tomorrow, or actually today, because you guys will be hearing this on the 11th, is our 2-month anniversary. So wanted to share that with you guys, and thank you guys for listening and all your support. You can reach us online, Facebook at Bits for You Podcast, number 4. The same thing on Twitter at Bits for You Podcast. We're mostly active on Twitter, but occasionally I go on Facebook and we'll interact there. All right, so thank you for listening.
All right, that was the end of that episode. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And I wanted to say, just a reminder, you can always ask us questions on Twitter, Facebook, or email us. Again, the Facebook and Twitter handle is the same, at Bits for You Podcast. It's the number 4 after the word bits. I'm going to have links on the description of this episode. Make it easier for you guys. The email is bitsforyoupodcast@gmail.com. Anything you guys want to mention or comment about our discussions on any episode, feel free to do so on any of those platforms. Thank you.